Sometimes in life, it feels as if we are walking in circles. We try to change. We promise ourselves, never again. And yet, somehow, we end up in the same place, again and again. Why does this happen? Why do we keep falling into the same patterns, the same mistakes, the same regrets? From the perspective of Stoic wisdom, the answer is not to blame yourself, but to take command. The Stoics didn't just understand those who struggled. They provided a manual for strength. They saw clearly why we falter, and more importantly, how we can begin to free ourselves. The Stoics taught that at the root of our repeated errors is a misuse of our greatest faculty, reason. We don't repeat mistakes because we are bad or broken. We repeat them because our reason is untrained. We're living on autopilot, responding to life through old faulty judgments, unaware of the deeper principles that should be guiding our actions. It's like being the captain of a ship. You keep steering into the same rocks, not because the ship is flawed, but because you keep misreading the map. The day you decide to study the map and trust your instruments, that is the day you change course. This map is reality. Your instrument is reason. When we live without attention, our mind is easily swept away by habit, passion, or fear. But with prosoc, constant, rational attention, we start to notice the roots of our actions. Why did I assent to that anger? Why did I choose fleeting pleasure over long-term character? What mistaken judgment led me here? That moment of questioning is powerful. It is the first exercise of command. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If we keep feeding the same fearful, irrational thoughts, they grow stronger. But if we start nurturing reason, our mind begins to shift. Another reason we repeat mistakes is our attachment to indifference. Things outside our control that we mistakenly label as good or bad. We chase what feels good in the short term, even when our reason tells us it doesn't serve our character in the long run. Sometimes we return to harmful habits or relationships, not because we love the pain, but because we fear the perceived pain of loss. The familiar, even when it wounds us, can feel safer than the discipline required for true self-improvement. Imagine someone who keeps returning to an unhealthy relationship. It is because they have incorrectly judged that the fleeting comfort it provides is more valuable than their own self-respect. This is the trap of faulty judgment. It clouds our reason and binds us to turmoil. The Stoics gently reminded us that freedom begins the moment we realize that not everything we prefer is truly good for our soul. As Epictetus taught, freedom is not procured by a full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire. When we stop assenting to every desire, we create space for reason, for virtue, and for peace. The third reason is subtler, but very powerful. Character as habit. Our character is not a fixed thing. It is the sum of our choices. This is the Stoic understanding of moral momentum. Each time we react with passion, with avoidance, with self-pity, we strengthen a groove in the mind. And when we're tired or stressed, the mind takes the path of least resistance. That's why we often say, I didn't even think. I just did it again. It's not failure. It's just untrained character taking over. But our character is not fate. It is flexible. It responds to reason, to intention, to even the smallest effort to choose virtuously. Every choice is a hammer blow, forging the character you will inhabit tomorrow. Every time you pause, question an impulse, and choose the rational path, you are strengthening the muscle of your will. Over time, those deliberate choices reshape your entire being. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are simply a commander, learning to master your own mind. Mistakes are not a sign of your unworthiness. They are data. They are calls to look deeper, to train your reason more rigorously, to fortify your inner citadel. The Stoics didn't ask us to be perfect. They asked us to be diligent, to examine our judgments, to choose virtue, and to get back up when we fall, armed with new knowledge. So if today you find yourself in a familiar place, pause, breathe. You are not starting over. You are starting from experience. And with each conscious choice, each rational action, you are planting the seeds of tranquility, of integrity, of freedom. As Seneca wrote, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. If this message helped fortify your mind, I invite you to stay on this journey with us. Subscribe, reflect, and return whenever your reason needs a moment of reinforcement.